this is what we're calling him. We're calling him Tony Two Cuts. We got to give Brian ultimate credit for the two cuts.
Punched it up for us.
Appreciate it.
But that just refers to the fact. I mean, look, it's not like you're telling secrets about the guy. The guy wrote an article about how he had himself re-circumcised.
Yes, and I just like to bring it up every time because people may be asking, how can you get re-circumcised? Well, you can't. And he writes about it at length, that it's just, here it is, a bit of just a cut in your genitalia, because he wanted to, despite he being...
Wait, what's this picture?
Like churro?
It's churro. It's churro. Yeah, that's
with a hot dog
it's way you
in it.
practice.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I mean, this is the thing about it that strikes me. Okay, Marty Peretz, who was a vehement neocon Zionist, and a conservative. He's the one who put Andrew Sullivan in there. He was the one who oversaw the sort of like race essentialism.
The Charles Murray bell curve stuff.
Yes. And what strikes me about that is that if I really wanted to appeal to Marty Peretz and show my commitment, taking a second swipe at my penis would be like a way to show a real dedication.
Right. I'm converting to Judaism, and I'm willing to slice my penis for it.
Now, and here's the thing. Listen, it's not.
Isolate that.
It's not.
I'm sure it's already going to happen.
It's already a Reddit.
I've seen Tony Dokapil out in the wild, and I never saw him wearing a yarmulke. So I'm saying, so my assumption is that he's a fairly, maybe conservative or reform in terms of, and I'm not quite sure that there was any reform rabbis out there going like, well, I gotta see a second scar. My point being, it gives you a sense of just how far this guy may go.
Yes.
To placate his bosses,
Tony Two
who
Cuts.
may want to see, and that's really the issue. I mean, like it's your body, your choice. If you want to go 3 cuts, I say enjoy.
Yeah, everyone has their kinks.
Right. There's nothing. I'm not shaming. I'm not kink shaming anybody. I'm just saying, writing about it in the magazine. Now all of a sudden, like, it's not just between you and God. Right? I mean,
no.
To be God and all the editors in New York.
Yes. So whatever. That's neither here nor there. But here is just to give you a sense of like how intensely this guy is interested in essentially like showing his new owners and his new bosses how desperate he is to please them. I just want to read from, before we just give you, to set the table. It's from Variety. When Variety magazine sees you as a boot kisser, you may have a little bit of a problem.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay.
The headline or the
what would have been, but that would have been part of telling the whole story. They're talking about how like Dokapil on his first day was like, we're going to tell the whole story. We're not going to, just listen to consultants and experts. We're going to listen to everybody. Not that seems to be Dokapil's strong suit or his interest. Elsewhere, in a segment about Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s newly announced and seismic shifts to the recommended vaccine schedule for children, Dokapil began an interview with a CBS News medical journalist by asking what this expert would say to parents out there who are celebrating. Now, we had a doctor on yesterday on the program and made it clear that particularly because of the nature of our healthcare system, that this isn't a question of giving parents an opportunity to opt out. You largely have had an opportunity to opt out for a lot of this, particularly even newborns. Maybe you might have an issue with your school, once you enroll your kid in kindergarten and other, maybe some private schools might say, like, we're not letting you in here unless you're vaccinated against certain things. But certainly in terms of like birth, you have the option to say to the nurses and the doctors, like, I'm not going to take those vaccinations, just not going to do it. But because of our medical system, there's a lot of people who have no awareness of the importance of these vaccinations.
Yep.
So they are actually like, don't even get the option to opt out. They're just not even aware of it. Because, we have people who've lost their Medicaid under this administration. We have people who are underinsured and under provided with health care, like millions upon millions of people, and particularly low income people. Anyway, so she says, to parents out there who are celebrating because they thought their kids were obliged to be injected with too many vaccines. He ended the segment by declaring, quote, so parents are going to have some options for themselves, end quote, when to a large portion of the audience, the precise opposite is true. They'll now need a physician consult to obtain a vaccine for their child that was once more easily obtained. Dokapol thanked his guest and announced brashly, you clarified it for us. The guest could be said to have tried his best, despite Dokapol. When Variety is starting to call you like a unabashed sycophant for the administration hack, you've got a problem. But here he is, showing that he is independent from this administration.
Oh, yeah.
He's not some Donald Trump boot kisser.
Right.
His Secretary of State, however, though, that may be a different story.
Tonight and only in America, the many lives and many jobs of Marco Rubio, the son of Cuban immigrants and a former Florida senator. He's now the face of U.S. foreign policy and President Trump's point man on Venezuela, all in addition to his roles as Secretary of State, interim national security advisor.
Can you pause this? I'm sorry. This would be better served if you had like music from the dating game behind it.
Okay.
It's
Well,
literally...
we could take care of that.
Yeah,
okay.
let's do that. Let's because it sounds like you're reading off of his credentials to sell him on the hot new woman who's gonna be lucky enough to be Mrs. Secretary of State.
Like
incidentally,
level.
there's a good argument that the Secretary of State is enough of a portfolio. Running a country that you've just decapitated their leadership and then doing 5 other jobs might be a bit of a problem. And like that could be one perspective you might take if you're delivering news to the entire country. The other could be just like, hey, this guy is quite a bachelor. Go ahead.
North Korea profile.
Exactly.
And a former Florida senator. He's now the face of U.S. foreign policy and President Trump's point man on Venezuela, all in addition to his roles as Secretary of State, interim national security advisor, and acting national archivist and USAID chief. Whatever you think of his politics, you got to admit it's an impressive resume.
You gotta admit, he's
Now,
hot.
AI memes have added.
What is that thing about, like, whatever you think of his performance in all of these positions, like USAID, where like kids are dying and
Whatever you think about the most material aspect about why we're talking about this guy, you got to admit.
Look at how
His
long the
suit's pretty
resume is.
nice.
Like, who gives about resumes?
You got to admit, it's an impressive resume. And now AI memes have added to that portfolio, casting Secretary Rubio as the new governor of Minnesota, the new Shah of Iran, the prime minister of Greenland, the new manager of Manchester United,
AI,
the head of Hilton Hotels, and highest of high honors of all, the new Michelin man. Now, back in real life, of course, these memes may not add up to much, but for Rubio's hometown fans, which are many around here in Miami, it is a sign of how Florida, once an American punchline, has become a leader on the world stage. Marco Rubio, we salute you. You're the ultimate Florida man. And that's another day in America and in Miami.
I mean, just a shameless guy.
Man, I cannot believe, honestly, like, how do you say that with your muscles being able to go up like this while your teeth would be so gnashing if you had an ounce of dignity.
There's a massive monitor behind him showing him his bank account.
Right.
Exactly.
Live up
That's
there.
right. That's right in front of. That's like literally split screen. Here's the scrolling teleprompter and just sort of like the meter ticking on his bank account. Right, the double screen there.
Do you think that the White House? What? Go ahead.
I'm just gonna play.
World stage. Marco Rubio, we salute you.
Unbelievable. But do you think that the White House got those AI images directly linked from the White House or people in Rubio's camp to put up there? Because that's the kind of thing that a stupid like political campaign would put out to be like, look, the kids are loving Marco right now. They're putting him in a clown suit. They're putting him in
Gen Z
this.
loves Marco Rubio.
And it's like an ancillary point to this, right? But like the fact that the news is using AI generated images. I don't care if they put the disclaimer on there. Like there should be precedent set that news organizations shouldn't be putting out images like that, even if they're doctored, even if you have that little acknowledgement. Like, but that's the layer of sycophancy here, is because Trump is betting the whole farm about the economy on AI. And I would not be shocked if they're trying to work in more AI hype into their already glazing puff piece about Marco Rubio, because that's a part of this too.
I just think that it's just sort of like you've got what, a half an hour for the national news.
Yeah.
Do you really have like?
Yeah.
I mean, it was regardless of what it is that you do there. You know, the idea of like, look at it, it's funny.
Yeah.
They put him in a marshmallow costume.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch the news.
This guy literally, like, the issue of whether this country should go in and attempt regime change, and let's be clear, there has never been any, even the slightest, well, maybe the slightest, but nothing beyond like a sort of just, an afterthought to claim that Venezuela was any type of material threat to this country. Like nothing, absolutely nothing. And we just performed regime change on it, basically probably for, I don't know, a half dozen hedge funders. I mean, this isn't like, we don't even get the excuses of like, we don't want the smoking gum to be a mushroom cloud. Like, they don't even bother with that. We just spent whatever millions upon billions of dollars in chasing boats around the world to pirate, oil tankers, to keep a dozen warships off the coast of Venezuela, to keep 10 to 15,000 Marines off the coast of Venezuela, killed 75 people who were no threat to any American anywhere. And we just did it for the sake of, and we did it all nakedly. And you would think that on a 30-minute newscast, not including commercial breaks, that when you're talking about the administration, you wouldn't have time to go like, look at the funny costumes these guys come in. But regardless of what you think of him as a Secretary of State, you've got to say this guy wears many hats.
I wonder what actually substantive segment that they cut in favor of that, because we know that Tony Two Cuts likes to cut things.
Well, let's look at there was another moment actually that was a little bit more serious. And that was Tony Two Cuts went back to Miami, and it turns out Miami is his hometown.
Oh.
Why do I give a fuck?
And excuse me.
Sorry.
Wait, how dare you say that?
Excuse me.
This is the news.
I mean, this is a larger problem with. I was home watching the local news, and they spent like 5 minutes on a video of like high schoolers saying what they appreciated about the year.
Well,
this is as frivolous as that.
Except for local news.
At least, yeah. there's
Like it could
some
possibly
interest,
be
yeah.
like we don't have, we're only doing local stuff, and we only got so much news going on here.
North Dakota.
But this is the news meant for 330 million Americans.
Mm-hmm.
We've only got the 30 minutes minus the 6 minutes of commercial breaks to do this in. So we got to get every moment to count.
Let's inform the
But what's
public.
important is that Tony's a real guy. And he's got real childhood memories.
And scars.
And he's got real childhood memories. And sometimes gets choked up.
You said this is your favorite place in the world. Why? Why South Florida and Miami?
Oh, it makes me emotional. It's so funny. I didn't think it would catch it. You know, because you only have one childhood, right? So let me get a second
No,
here.
you're okay. I can relate. This is home.
We're playing N64 in Mom's
Yeah,
basement.
guard with this segment we prepared.
People will to help people understand why I have such a reaction.
Trauma must be, right?
Pharmacological imbalance.
That must be coming up. Trauma.
Florida is where I grew up.
Would you?
We didn't get a lot of sleep. So. Yeah, my grandmother's here, my father, my mother, my aunts and uncles, cousins. And it's where I would have spent all of my childhood, but we left because of my father. He got in some trouble with business. It's like, we laugh about it now, but he was a drug
let me look into
dealer.
that.
But he was a drug dealer, he went to jail. It's kind of a ha-ha thing that we say now, but the reason it's so emotional for me is because I feel like I was robbed of the full Miami experience.
Sounds like you got
So when I come back, I'm always like-
experience. Your dad was a busted drug dealer.
I really love it here. Yeah.
But it changed the trajectory of your life. You may not be back here today had you stayed here in the first place. You
people
never
are gonna think
know.
this is so crazy, but like
Okay.
this should have been my home for the
That was
whole
interesting.
stretch, right? So to have it and then to lose it, it just kind of rocks me. So I didn't expect to feel that, but whenever I'm here, it really does feel deeply like home, and I wish it had stayed home, you know? And I know that's how a lot of people here.
Talk to a therapist.
He moved to Maryland when he was 6 years old.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, it's obviously the trauma of his father going to jail because of, he wrote a book about this, and I think this is definitely something that might be interesting to someone watching something other than the news.
I don't know. If I was his therapist, my eyes would start glazing over anyway.
I mean, I suppose one likes to think that one is not necessarily that like sort of easily triggered by being on TV and like and I don't know. It unleashes a lot of questions about the father issues, and maybe that's why he's looking to placate people up top and whatnot. I can tell you that.
Are you going to address
When you go home to
the,
Worcester?
No, we did a live show in Worcester during the break, but we had to scrap it because Sam was too emotional.
No, I just.
We only got 3 minutes on the news for this, Sam.
I know. We.
Take your time.
It's all right. It's all right.
Plenty of time. We'll just kick off the El Salvador segment.
Saul had asked me about asteroids, the video game the other day, and one of the things I did in Worcester was to go downtown to the Dream Machine at the Worcester Center Mall and play asteroids, and I just remember the day that the machine was out of order, and I was like, I'm gonna go play centipedes, and I had $1, and it was I put it into the change machine and nothing came out, and of course they didn't have somebody working at the Dream Machine that day.
You were robbed of your
And
experience?
I just walked around.
I wanna
and
go
didn't
back.
have the $1, and now it's like you can't. There's no arcades where they tore down the center.
You only get one child.
They took it from you.
Yeah.
And
look
you
at
want to
what
go
they-
back.
Look at what they took from you.
Why on earth do any, like, I wouldn't care if that was Cronkite back from the, like, dead.
Oh, I
asked
know.
about that. Like,
Henry Kissinger, we salute you.
it's like being back
I mean,
home.
like, listen, I mean, it's, if you want to talk on point about, like, yeah, it was difficult. I have the associations of having to move here, which was sort of traumatic because my father went to jail in a way that was unjust for marijuana laws at the time. And so, Miami, I have a weird reaction, et cetera, et cetera. And, maybe that's on, like, what was that? What was that show on? That wasn't on the CBS News, right? That was on the CBS like morning show or something, right? I mean, it couldn't have been.
It has the CBS News logo
Yeah,
on the lower left.
Well,
This could have been. Doesn't it seem like
please
it's a?
tell me that was not at the
No,
CBS.
it's on the evening news.
CBS Evening News, they tweeted this out.
No.
Yes,
their clip.
It's on CBS Evening News. Look at the
Chiron.
the watermark.
No, maybe it was. Oh my God.
This is a part, I think, of the
no.
same segment about Rubio because it's all about how Florida's amazing, basically.
They're doing like a tour. They're going to a bunch of cities. I don't know if he's going to cry in every city. I don't know how much he bounced around.
So like what? Just give
Incidentally,
Tony.
they killed an Epstein. Was it? Or did they kill another story on 60 Minutes the other night, or no?
The CCOT one has no, not even on the calendar though. In terms of like, seems like they're just.
Hey, we got Tony to cry about being like missing his childhood. Like, this guy's clearly a head case.
I'm sorry.
Everything
but, like,
about him.
I know, like, even putting the propaganda stuff aside, like, don't you feel like a little bit of a little bitch making this all about you on national television? I mean, Cronkite would never.
This is all that, like, it's all this sort of Arrested Development stuff.
I
like
know.
the best sort of like. Barry Weiss is like the cleanest propagandist, and she's like immediately discreditable just by looking at her resume. Like this guy.
I mean,
like,
bring back shame. Seriously.
Well, to be fair, the reporting is that Dokapol was actually the third person on the list.
Yeah.
That they wanted. They wanted Brett Baer
And Anderson Cooper.
and then I suspect. I got to be honest. I also suspect that there were other people that they asked who, maybe internally who were like,
Have you checked your inbox yet, Sam?
No.
self-respect particle detected.
Exactly. I suspect that is my guess. Is that
You have an unopened email that says literally anybody else is the subject.
Last
line.
call. Any takers?
We didn't even bring this part up, but if people don't recognize this guy, he was also the racist
Ta-Nehisi
that said to Ta-Nehisi Coates that his book, which included a chapter about how Palestinians are treated by the Israelis, would be found in the backpack of a terrorist.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
And so this is even more pathetic, I'm sorry, than Fox News or other right-wing propaganda, because they fundamentally know that their audience is dumb and they know that they're manipulating them. But Barry Weiss is out there trying to create out of whole cloth interest from like the entire country. CBS is basic cable. It's supposed to be broadcast for everybody, and is trying to manufacture a politics that is so deeply unpopular. It doesn't even have a constituency like the Fox News people do, except rich guys and rich Zionists in power, basically.
There's a lot of different ways you can make utility of that by simply saying using the CBS imprimatur. I mean, that's how Dick Cheney sold the Iraq War. It was published in the New York Times.
But they're not even doing it artfully.
Not yet.
Atmosphere. With Maduro now out, that base of power and influence could be out too. All right, to other news, as you just heard from Jill. Well, to other news now, to Governor Walz. No, we're going to do Mark Kelly. First day, big problems here.
First day, big problems. Well handled.
Are we going to go into Jonah Kaplan?
Big problems.
We're doing Mark Kelly, possibly demoted from his retired rank of captain in the Navy. Hegseth issued what's known as a letter of censure for the Arizona Democrat over his participation in a video that called on service members to defy illegal orders without specifying which orders he had in mind. Hegseth called what the former combat pilot and astronaut did an act of sedition. Now we go to Minnesota. A surprise announcement from the Great Lake State.
Well, first off, here's a tip. When you're having big problems, you don't want to say big problems.
Yeah.
You can say things like, well, folks, this is what happens with live television.
Yeah.
I can tell you, believe me. And hopefully we'll get these kinks ironed out. But back to the news.
They'll just be like, I'm panicking.
But I also just like how the fact that, just outside of this sort of like problems with form and sort of dealing with those incidents that come up, Mark Kelly had nothing to say about that? we just hear Pete Hegseth's justification as to why Mark Kelly should be demoted and attacked for literally putting a video out that says, you should remember your oath says that you don't follow illegal orders.
Yeah.
Mark Kelly had nothing to say
And the
about it.
caveat, he did make it clear which orders.
Right.
Illegal orders is pretty clear.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Also, here's some
Orders that are
unflattering.
illegal.
Pretty. I feel like I understand it.
Yeah, you're right. Well, yeah, but you've had the training.
Yeah. Please don't demote me in retirement. That would really hurt my feelings.
He's senator now, and now he's you know, whatever. The freaking guy was an astronaut.
Yeah.
Oh, Smarty Pants thinks he's better than me.
Yeah. Calling from a 617 area code. I'm going to need a minute. 617 is the area code that I grew up with prior to the time that they switched it to 508 because they ran out of numbers in central Massachusetts. And so when I was a kid, my first three numbers on my area code was 617. And now when I talk to someone from Worcester, it's their number starts with 508. So I'm just, go ahead. What's your name? I know where you're calling.
I'm so happy to be a part of this moment. This is Manu from. I'm from North Boston, but I'm now live in West Virginia. So
West Virginia starts with a W, and where I grew up, Worcester also starts with a W.
Mountain roads also took me home.
That's true. There are seven hills in Worcester, just like Rome and Paris.
I grew up really close to Kowloon's. I'm not sure if you ever performed there, but I grew up.
I actually did perform at Kowloon's. I specifically have actually told this story to Brian. I went up there and remember doing a joke to the effect of, I know what you're thinking. What's Andre Bresson doing up here? And someone in the audience turned to his buddy and said, I told you he was a fag. They since closed Kowloon's. It's gone. I think that maybe if I had told a different joke, I would have had more opportunity to play at Kowloon's. But now it's gone, and I never will.
Well, again, very happy to be a part of this moment, but I just wanted to quickly call and, obviously thank you folks for all the work that you do. But I think, especially just given how this year started, I almost wanted to basically encourage over the past half year, at least, a lot of the callers you've had a lot of callers who call in worrying about like Graham Plattner or, the direction, very reasonable and or unreasonable parts of the direction of the Democratic Party. But the last, few days, let alone week or, obviously past year or so, to me, it's just, I feel like, especially with the murder that occurred in Minneapolis today, I really applaud you folks for just, I don't know. Whether the listeners are pro or against, whether it's Plattner or, various things, it's just, today just makes me feel even more emotional and energized to really hunker down and focus on what can we do as a movement, as a group that will lead to less immiseration of people. And I really hope that folks can just see what's gone on and is going on such that we don't get bogged down in the weeds, or we just don't get lost in various things that may be important to discuss at some point and in some forums, but maybe not when countries are being in the process of being overthrown or people are being murdered for protesting and so on.
You're making a very reasonable plea for focus and prioritization of anti-fascist measures, which is definitely where we're at.
And the truth is, people get it. I mean, you get an outsized volume level from those folks online, but like the sort of like DSA is a pointless project, or running on a damn ballot line is a pointless project. Like all those like specifically Green Party people, they're on the sidelines, and all they can do is say not like that, as they don't do anything.
Right.
Part of it is, we're trying to project in a very inhospitable environment, so there are going to be, stumbles and stuff like that, and those are going to be dealt with. But a lot of it is just that sort of never having done anything and only being used to critique. And but I think like Zoran and like people are proving, like, it's not just Zoran. And Seattle just elected a DSA mayor too. Yeah. Like, people are actually doing this stuff despite all the people who are saying not like that on the internet. And so I think the people that are like us, that want to see things done and aren't just like trying to like do symbolic manipulations, should take heart and not get so bogged down in the fact that there's a vocal minority that doesn't want to see anything actually happen.
Well, and especially because of, when you hear about how Susan Collins, for example, reacted to the stuff in Venezuela and it's just the usual pablum of like, well, I would really like to hear an explanation as to why they did X, Y, Z. And it's just, and in my mind, I'm like, look, I understand that it's not bimodal and it's not like support one person or you get Susan Collins, but like Emma said, that focus is super important, because otherwise we're just going to be stuck in a room full of Collinses and Fettermans and all, I don't know.
And I don't know if you saw Plattner's response to the Venezuela thing, but it was better than any elected. I mean, we've had some great statements, AOC, Van Hollen, whatever, Bernie Sanders, but Graham's was the best I've seen.
Oh, awesome. I'll check it out. I don't want to take too much of your time, but 100%. Thanks, folks. I appreciate you. Stay safe.
I appreciate it.
Cheers, folks.
I've been told, I should just say, the Kowloon apparently is still open, but after 75 years, the reports are that it's going to be torn down.
It's not the same as when you were a kid.
You gonna be all right?
Yeah, I'll be okay.
Okay.
Do you remember what it was like in the 90s?
Incidentally, I mean, for those who've never been to the Kowloon, it seats like 4,000 people.
Wow.
It is huge. Like, I'm not being
Did you fill that arena?
No. You're in like one tiny corner of it. It is, but it is a 75-year-old. I don't know if you could call it strictly Chinese. It was just like anything Asian. That was it. Kowloon. It's in Saugus. I'm trying to think of how many they seat there.
Is there a better Massachusetts name for a town than Saugus?
Saugus?
Perfect.
Yeah. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.